It's a great day. My name is Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome, by the way, to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we are on a mission. And our mission really is to inspire. Our mission is to empower, and our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the hard-working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you will call to serve. And on this episode, we have the one and only LaWanna Bradford. She's in the building, and she's talking about strategies for success in business and life. That's interesting. What's going on, LaWanna? How you doing?
I'm doing well, Shay. How have you been?
Good. It's an honor and privilege to have like eye-to-eye contact with these fiber optic lines, by the way, and not just another voice on the phone or someone I get to stalk on social media. I love all the work you're doing. But before we get started,
thank you so much.
Thank you. Before we get started, there are folks that are leaning forward and they're saying, whoa, strategies of success. Shay, ask LaWanna, why are businesses even struggling these days to even be profitable or successful? I mean, they've got Instagram they can go to on any given day and get motivated and fired up. They've got AI they can go to and they'll tell them exactly what to do. In fact, it'll write the plan, tell them what to do and check in, and yet they're not successful. What's going on?
I think there's a couple things, Shay. The first thing is how committed are they to their own vision and objectives? Very often you find business owners have intention, right? They intend all day long to do something, but intention gives way for excuses, whereas commitment is saying by any means necessary. So I think that's the one thing that an entrepreneur has to ask his or herself is, how committed am I? How much do I believe in what I say that I'm doing? And number two, would I even buy for myself? So that's one question. And I think the second thing is being a student of your industry. I am surprised, Shay, of how many individuals I speak to. And I asked them, can you tell me what are like the top two or three things facing your industry right now? Not necessarily looking at the negatives, but what opportunities? And very often they can't even convey them. So if you have a business and you're in an industry and you don't know and understand how to ride the waves of the industry, you can find yourself overtaken by the wave. And I think the third thing is being able to, and it's one of the things I talk about, is how to position yourself to always remain relevant, to be top of mind. And again, when you have that commitment and when you know what your industry is doing, you're able to stay ahead of the wave or ride the crest of the wave. Then you always become relevant because you have your hand to the pulse, right? Your ear is to the ground and you know what pain points your clients are stating that they're experiencing. And then you're able to design that solution that addresses that particular need.
You know, what do you say to the person who says, she's spot on, Shay, I like that. She's talking about strategies for success, but success means different things to different people. What is LaWanna Bradford's, view of the world on what does success look like for you from a business perspective? Then if you don't mind, and ladies and gentlemen, she can handle it. Two-part question. What does success look like from a life perspective? So two perspectives, business, and then for you, for where you are, what does success look like from a life perspective?
I think as a business owner, it's not to be that one and done, right? You come out blazing and then you hit a challenge, hit a wall, and you just don't have what it takes to press through. So success to me means perseverance, ever vigilant, ever focused, determining to win. And that win may come at different times. It may not be in your ideal time frame at what you had initially planned, but I believe if you continue to press and believe that vision and opportunity will intersect, as you've heard me say, success is inevitable. So for me, success is you keep pressing to the mark until you cross the finish line. It's not quitting, right? And I think on a personal standpoint, what success looks like is being so committed to living your authentic self. And we hear that a lot, but it's really not that easy because we are inundated with all of these messages, or maybe what our parents have told us what we should be and how we should behave. And we really lose ourselves in all of that messaging. But to be able to break free of that and be comfortable in your own skin, and more importantly, in your voice, and know that you were divinely created for this point in time to do something no one else can do. If you can live that, that's success every single day.
Success every single day. You know, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get into her backstory in a moment. LaWanna, you're famous. I know the whole world knows you, but there might be a few folks that are watching right now who are meeting you for the very first time. So they have no idea. They haven't read your bio, by the way. You're playing right now in their ears. And thank y'all for welcoming us into your home right now. We might be playing on a tablet. Maybe you're cooking dinner, by the way, or you're out walking on a walk. And this is what you listen to. We appreciate you. We really do. Take a moment, if you would, and you've created something called the R3 system. First, why is it more important now than ever before? And then what is it? You know, for those folks like R3 system, shape for strategies, what is the R3 system and how can it help me? Then we'll get into her backstory. She'll tell you how famous she is, but I'm telling you, she's making a big difference with this R3 system. Take a moment, tell us about it.
Certainly. Thanks for asking. So the R3 system is a concept that actually sits on the foundation of strategic planning. And when you ask most people, what is strategy? What is strategic planning? They'll give you the old school response, which is correct. It is, this is where I am. This is where I want to be. And then I'll come up with some action items, strategies that I hope will get me there. And we know hope isn't a method. But what the R3 is, it takes you from a state of planning to a place of visioning. And I like to call it a strategic visioning framework, where the first R stands for refocus. And when you are refocusing, you are not just looking at what it is that you want to do, but why do you believe what you say you believe? It's getting into not only the mindset, but the state of being. Because we know that in order to be successful in business, strategy is a thought. It's a thought process. It's an active state. It's not, I've done this exercise and I hit a check mark and then I put it aside and may never look at the plan again until the next time in the next year rolls around. So when you're refocusing, you're asking yourself, you're basically recommitting yourself to what it is that you say you're going to do. And if you feel that you've missed the mark, you're asking yourself some hard questions. Why? What caused me to get off focus? What caused that lens to be blurred for a minute? And it could be some outside factors that are beyond your control. But even though they're beyond your control, they still should not, if you stay committed to that vision, cause you to lose focus. The Bible tells us to be careful, to run that race and not be set by things that are happening to the left or to the right of us, right? Those are those distractions. So you put that blinder on and you're able to refocus. And we go through an exercise of unpackaging what that really means. So you develop clarity of thought. When you have clarity, and only when you have clarity, can you then begin to run, right? Because you got to know where you're going and you've done all the work. You've done all the conditioning. Now, reframing then means, okay, I'm ready. I feel strong enough, but what game do I really want to play? Because we forget that we are actually creative beings. We are the architect of our lanes. No one occupies our lane but us. We only compete with us, but the world has caused us to be disillusioned. We're taught you've got competition to the left and to the right of you. How do I have competition when I design this lane and it's my game? And I decide who the players will be in the game. And if I feel that someone is not playing the game according to my rules, I excuse them. As Dr. George Fraser says, I bless and release them. So reframing is really assessing the playing field and determining what game is this and how do I want it to be played, and realize I set the rules. My father used to always say, he who has the goal makes the rules. Well, you have the goal in your business. You have the most valuable piece of real estate, which is this, your creative, innovative self. So you've designed it, you made the rules, you've set the boundaries. The next thing is recommit. And Shay, for me and to the listening audience, that was the hardest thing, because when you have to brush yourself off because you've been knocked down, and that will happen time and time again, the longer you're in business, you have to recommit and reconnect to what you said you're going to do. You have to rise up in spite of. You have to literally be that phoenix rising over and over again, knowing that each time you rise, each time you go through that fire of trials, tribulations, the clients saying no, the economy shifting, you become that much stronger, that much more resilient, that much more determined, and that much more likely to succeed. So again, it starts with that awakening, that awareness, aligning it with your actions, which is the refocus, reframing, designing that playing field, knowing you own it, you write the rules, and then finally connecting yourself, valuing what it is that you say you do and who you are enough to run that race without being unapologetically in doing so and believing that you're going to succeed. See, Shay, what I found out is many small business owners, they don't believe it. They say they want it, but they really don't believe it. Because if you believe it, you wake up on fire every single day. You don't know when you're going to reach it, but you're on fire. You're like, I'm going to win. I don't care how many shots it takes. I'm going to win. Eventually, I'm going to hit a basket. Eventually.
And that's one of the things I admire about you. I've had a chance to know you now for a couple of years now, and you're always moving forward in the face of adversity. It doesn't matter what's going on. Take a moment, because some folks said, actually, I'm really curious. I want to know her backstory. And the question, what's your backstory? And then what was that defining moment that led you to say, you know what, I'm raising my hand, helping people get out there and have strategies for success with my 3R system. So what's the backstory? Who are you? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you've been waiting for.
Well, my backstory is I came from a very blessed life. I used to say everything I touched turned to gold. I came from a family of means. Life was good. I never had a financial worry or struggle until I did, until the 2007, 2008 mortgage crisis hit. I'm in the mortgage business. We have a commercial investment mortgage company as well as a consulting firm. And if anyone were there during that time, you know that banks were closing, our ability to lend totally went away. And suddenly I found myself wondering, how am I going to survive? Well, what I did is what you shouldn't do. I tell people, don't rob from your future to take care of your present. But I did. I started drawing down from that very, very fat retirement fund so that I wouldn't lay off my employees, which in the end I had to lay them off anyway because there wasn't any money coming in. So that well dried up quickly to the point, Shay, I had to go home to mom and dad. Help, help, help. I'm waving that flag. I surrender. I don't know what I'm going to do. And it was the most humbling experience of my life where my parents got on a plane, came here. My dad said, I need to see everything. I need to see all your bills. I need to see what's coming in. I'm like, I told you, nothing's coming in. He looked at all my bills and he said, okay, we're going to make sure you keep a roof over your head, you have food in your belly. Lights are going to be on, your utilities, but your business, that's on you. I didn't put you in that. So I thought, I'm good, no problem. And until I got sued by Chase Bank. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I getting sued? Well, at that time, the banks were calling everything due. It didn't matter how great your credit was or how well of a client you were. They were in trouble, right? So they're knocking on everyone's door. And I'm like, I don't have it. And they said, well, you're going to have to take you to court. So I'm thinking, no problem. Let's call mom and dad. And my dad said the same thing. What don't you understand? This is what we're going to take care of. Your livelihood. This is on you. And so I had to go to a friend who had gone through something similar. And I said, what do I do? I've got to go to court. There's no way out of it. And he taught me how to represent myself in court and win. And Shay, what that taught me is the importance of surrounding yourself with people who've done that and got the t-shirt. We like to call them our coaches, our consultants, our mentors, who help us to navigate the waters of change, those minefields. So I was able to represent myself in court and I won. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm good. I've got the golden touch, right? But then another thing happened, and that was my husband ended up divorcing me. Financial crisis sometimes hits marriages hard. And then on a personal front, after that, I ended up being diagnosed with cancer. And I thought, you gotta be kidding me. When is enough, God? And I remember just sitting back and just reflecting on all that I went through. Not so much asking why, but it's like, I'm tired, enough already. And I remembered something that a person told me. His name was Jim McCracken. He's a multimillionaire that I met when I was in my 20s. And he said, whenever you're in a state of lack, financially that is, never pray for money. Always pray for knowledge and wisdom, and the money will come. And at that point, that's when I started shifting my thinking and my perspective. Instead of seeing myself as a victim, I thought, how can I rise up triumphantly? How can I learn from this ash and trash that's happening? Grow and expand and become better than before I went through this. And that's where the R3 was born, because it took the refocusing, right? Shifting, changing that paradigm. It took reframing, saying, okay, I'm in a state of lack. Now, how do I build my plan for abundance? And what will that look like for me? And what are the rules that I'm going to put in place? Now, how do I take the state of brokenness? Because I felt like I was just dejected, and just I lost value in myself. So how do I regain that? And that was a part of, as I said, was the most difficult part, is reconnecting and recommitting to myself. And from that, I realized that I had something that was proven that I've been using since then, again and again and again. And I realized this works. It's a system that works. And it's a system of strategy, but it's life application and business application, because business cannot sit well and be sustained on a faulty personal base. Right? The visionary, the one that's holding up the business, has to be strong mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And then everything else rides smoothly on it. But if it's cracked, if it's weak, if it's crumbling, if it's a foundation of sand, you're going to be challenged. And that's just law.
Yeah. As you were speaking, and thanks for being so authentic and very transparent, by the way. We appreciate that. I was wondering, what was your mindset like when you was going through those hard times? I mean, what were you telling yourself? Were there any affirmations you were telling yourself? I mean, I know the R3 system was born from that, but to get up every day and have to face it, I guess the question really is, how did you find the energy to get up and still take action when you really didn't know what was on the other side?
I think we all have someone around us who has poured into us. And that was my dad. He always let me remember how great and wonderful and beautiful I was. He didn't always say you can do anything, because you may not. You may have certain situations that you're not able to do everything. But he reminded me who I was and whose I was. And it was those words that I just kept hearing it over and over again. I'm like, okay, if I believe this, then I've got to walk it. And it wasn't always easy. There was times I didn't want to get out of bed. There was times it's like, I'm just done. But then I thought, well, if I'm done, then what kind of impact will I have made? I said I wanted to be a legacy maker. I said I wanted to make an indelible impact in life. Well, if I curl up and be defeated just because life happens, then I'm not as strong as I thought I was. But I don't have to be strong, because God is my strength. And again, this is a process that I was going through. It wasn't like, oh, I wake up and I'm just there. But I had to it was that self-talk over and over and over again. And even now, Shay, with the loss of Dad in September, I'm in that state now. I'm in the R3. I'm applying that in my life now. I am rediscovering who this new LaWanna is without my dad, my best friend, my coach, and my mentor by my side. This is a new person, and I'm learning how to become this version of myself. And so I'm now exploring the R3 in a very unique and very personal way once again.
Wow. And as you were speaking there, thinking, you talk about leaving a legacy. I know on her Facebook cover, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask about these words. She says, LaWanna Bradford. She says, making a difference. She doesn't say LaWanna Bradford, the speaker, the coach, the entrepreneur. She doesn't say LaWanna Bradford, the host of her TV show and all the wonderful things she does. She says, I'm LaWanna Bradford. I'm making a difference. Why was that so personal to you? I just really admired that. When I saw it, I was like, wow. I saw you through just a whole different level. You didn't say LaWanna Bradford, 10-time bestseller, or LaWanna Bradford making a bunch of money, or look at me. He said, no, I'm LaWanna Bradford. I'm making money. I'm making a difference. Was that something that came to you, or just something you've always believed in, just that making a difference part?
It came about shortly after our business. My brother and I first started the mortgage company together, and we realized that there were a lot of people making promises and not delivering on it. It was really not about the service they were providing. It was ultimately the money they were getting. And I said, I don't want to live that way. That's not how I want to do business. I want to know that no matter whether you pay me or not, that when you experience LaWanna, I've made a difference, even if it's just giving you an idea you never thought of. Or perhaps I'm not the one to serve you, but I have integrity enough to point you in the right direction of someone who can. And that has become my living, breathing mantra, that's what I want to do. I want, when you connect with me, that you leave changed, that you see yourself, your life, your pathway in a different way. And I think if I'm able to do that every single day, then that indelible mark will be left and people will remember my name.
I love it, by the way. A heart to give and a heart to serve. Often I get to ask one of my favorite questions, which is, what's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given? It's a little unfair for you because you've had a chance to be with your dad as a mentor. You've had a chance to interview folks and be on the other side and hear some of the most brilliant minds out there. You've probably read more books than we can even think of these days. I don't know if you can still keep count, watch many videos, but if you had to step back and say, here's one of the best pieces of advice that's ever been given to me that I want to pass on to someone else, what would you share?
I
Why?
would actually share something my mother said to me.
Ah.
And it is, learn from the mistakes of others because you can't live long enough to make them all yourself. And that was her very eloquent way of saying, you will not survive this world without a coach, mentor, or guide beside you. You are never going to know it all. Each journey is going to be a little bit different. Each journey is going to call you to a higher walk. And once you reach that rung, quickly find someone who you can learn from, who you can lean on, who you can pull from. And then as you're growing, then you reach back and you be that person for someone else.
I love it. And, when you look for someone to mentor you, or is there one or two or three characteristics you look for? Someone out there might be like, oh my gosh, I'm looking for a mentor. Is there one, two, or three characteristics, if there's such a thing, that you look for when you're looking for mentors or have in the past?
I think the first thing is someone, I like to say, who's been there, done that, and got the t-shirt, right? Someone who has actually run the race you're running. And I think number two, the one who's willing to listen and hear where you want to go. Often we could be connected with someone and it's really not about us. It's about them, and they're trying to populate their ideas into us. And I'm saying, no, take my idea and show me how to help them germinate and come to life. So, and then the third thing is someone who's able to see my blind spots, because I can't see from inside the frame, but I'm going to trust you that you're going to see them and be able to tell me the truth. And hopefully I can push the ego aside and accept it. So I think it's definitely those three things.
I love it. When you're not out saving the world, making a difference for other folks, making a difference and making a difference and making a difference, what do you do for fun these days? Like for where you are, what does fun look like and feel like for you?
Oh gosh, right now I am in such a pensive mode. So I'm an outdoors person. So I love to be in nature, any type, doing anything. When I'm in Arizona, I love climbing mountains. I love walking. I love just sitting out in the sun, listening to nature, and definitely spending time with family and friends. That's my happy space. And reading. I'm an avid reader. So That's fun to me. And obviously, you could say travel and all this other stuff. But if someone to say, LaWanna, right now, this is your last day on earth, what would you do? Read a good book, be outside with family and friends, and just feel the sun on my skin. That would be my happy space.
I love it. We're curious, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't, I know some of you have Googled her, some of you on her website, some of you on her Facebook page, her social media, and others you want to know what I'm going to ask now. But I'm curious. She has something called Strategic Insights. Now, if you hadn't had a chance, go to her YouTube channel. I don't know if she loaded them to her YouTube channel or not. I'm curious. I get a kick out of watching them because she'll do them anywhere in any place. It's not like, she has one place and she doesn't wear one shirt or a couple of favorite colors. She just whatever's on her mind. So I love them, by the way. I hope you continue to do them. But my question to you is, where did that idea of Strategic Insights come from and who's it for?
Well, it came from I walk every morning, and my brother was teasing me. He said, "Whenever I see you out walking, it reminds me of Adam walking with God in the cool of the day." And I said, "Well," and I was explaining to him. I said, "That's my meditation time, meditation and prayer." And during that time, I'm getting just a lot of insights from God, clarity of things. And one day I came on and I just had this aha moment that I wanted to share. And it was a long rant, Shay. It was like going. And I thought, okay, LaWanna, and I started doing them, and they were long. And then eventually, I thought, well, LaWanna, they're helping you, but if you really want to help others and reach the masses, let's chop them up into something like little digestible nuggets. And so that's really how they were born. Started them almost a year ago, and now come on almost every day with them. And it's really where I am, the space and time that I'm in, and maybe something I've listened to on the news or a business owner I spoke to, and I'm just going through these conversations and I get some insights about them. In fact, I did one last week and I said, stop working. And I'm speaking to the entrepreneurs and they're like, what do you mean stop working? We gotta work. No, you don't. Stop. Because the bottom line of that insight was, are you spending more time working or living?
Well said. Well said. I hope you continue to do them. I love them, by the way. I catch them at least twice a week. They're just humorous to me. And sometimes I have to go stalk you. It doesn't pop up in my feed, so I have to go to your page. I'm like, I wonder if she's still doing this. I wonder if she's still doing this. So thanks a lot. If you haven't checked it out, it's not a plug, ladies and gentlemen. It's free. She's not even charging for it. If you haven't checked them out, go over to her Facebook page. I don't know if you have them on YouTube yet, but make sure you check them out. They're really good. As we come down the home stretch, two-part question. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Were you about to say something?
Yeah, just on a side note, did you see the one that I did where I was talking about I wanted some pumpkin muffins?
Yes, that was what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, where this it was all about having clarity of thought, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. So again, if you do not have clarity of thought, you're going to make some crazy decisions and mistakes. I wanted pumpkin muffins, so I thought I was buying a pumpkin muffin mix. And I'm trying to open up the package and wondering, well, this is an odd kind of mixture. It was actually pumpkin muffins, little tiny muffins, not the mixture. And I was cracking up because it took me like 10 minutes for the light bulb to click that this is not what you want, LaWanna. But that can happen so much in life. We're so anxious, so busy, and we don't pause, get clarity, and then move forward. So that was just my little pumpkin muffin comedy.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Take a moment, if you would, for those folks that are watching. Two-part question. Number one, what type of clients are you looking to work with, if any, right now? I'm not sure if your firm's taking on any clients. And number two, how can folks best connect with you if they want to stay in this conversation over and beyond this time that you and I have right now? How can they best connect with you?
Well, they can connect with me, all things social media, by my name, LaWanna Bradford, or Instagram. It's the LaWanna Bradford, or my website, lawannabradford.com. Easy breezy. And the type of clients that I love to work for, individuals who are very focused and know what they want, who have been in business for at least 3 years, because I like to deal with individuals that are looking to create change, elevation, and impact in a rapid way. And how we do that is helping you to unpackage the R3 system within your life and in your lane of business. And if that's you and you're looking to really do some great and powerful things in 2025. And I'll be able to share with you some things that happened to me just last year, even in times of crises. If I can do that when I'm in the most difficult time of my life, imagine what you can do when life is flowing smoothly for you. So that's what I'm looking for. Individuals who know where you want to go, know you want to make a difference, an impact, want more income, but you want to learn the art behind the strategy. Then let's design the R3 system for you.
I love it. Let me say thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. I know you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. And you're giving us the most precious resource you have, which is your time. So thanks for being on the show. Can't wait to have you back, by the way.
Thank you so much, Shay. I appreciate it. Happy holidays.
Thank you. And thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. Thank you for allowing us to be in your home right now. Like I said, whether you're cooking right now and maybe we're just playing on your iPad or we're playing on your phone or maybe on your computer or maybe you're taking a walk like LaWanna, by the way. And this is something you listen to. We appreciate it because without you welcoming us in your home, well, we don't have a show. So thank you so much. And I never get tired of reminding you every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that you really are an amazing person. You really are incredible. It's not like some hyper stuff. It's the truth. And that no matter what's going on in your life, whether you're going to that next level right now, and there is a next level to get to, or you've been hit with the punch you never saw coming. The one thing I believe to be true is that today is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason, I believe your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name is Che Brown. We're out of here. It hasn't changed. Thanks a lot, LaWanna. Peace, everybody.
Bye.